So watching these farmers on the internet and in these interviews on these news channels brings one thing to mind to me. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So you mean to tell me you want the federal government to bail you out after you voted the way you voted? You voted for this. Mind you, this freak did the same thing to the farming community the last time he was in office, and you all had to be bailed out. So you want taxpayer dollars to bail you out again when this is what you voted for. The level of delusion and privilege is mind-blowing to me. And then you're upset that people lack empathy for you when you had no empathy for anyone else. You voted the same lunatic in office, and he screwed you the last time, and you're shocked that he's screwing you again. Make it make sense. Like I said before, MAGA, y'all are not smart. Y'all are not smart. I'm not sure why you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So you shouldn't get any sympathy. You should not be bailed out. You should sit in it because this is what you voted for. These are your choices. And you can't say you didn't know because he screwed you the last time. But now you want us to feel bad for you, and you want our tax dollars to bail you out. Make it make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And you should have to sit in it. You should have to deal with the consequences of your choices and the consequences of your votes. Because you knew better. Because he did it before.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Donald Trump again, trying to use tariff money to bail out farmers. And honestly, this whole thing is starting to feel like a political rerun. You know, the kind of show that nobody asks for but keeps getting renewed. Now, he's claiming he will use the billions collected from tariff on China and other countries to help American farmers. But let's be real, this isn't helping farmers. It is helping his political images. Let's break it down. When Trump first launched his trade war with China, he promised it would be good for America. But those tariffs, there are not taxes on China. There are taxes on you, the American consumers. Price went up. Small businesses suffered, and farmers were hit hardest. So, instead of fixing the bad policy, Trump used billions of taxpayers' dollars to bail out farmers, not to build sustainable system, but just to quiet the anger he caused. And now, he's doing it again. The same cycle, the same fake solution. This isn't leadership, this is damage control with your money. Let's talk about where the bailout money actually goes. Spoiler alert, not all farmers are getting saved. A big part of that money ends up in the hand of the corporate farms and agribusiness giants, while smaller local farmers, the ones struggling the most, barely see a penny. This is how wealth stays at the top, while rural Americans keep suffering.
It's quite challenging. I mean, it's a bloodbath, or becoming one.
You know what really grinds my gears? Being told we can't use our tax dollars to give people health care, but we can. In fact, we must use our tax dollars to bail out farmers who literally voted for the exact policies that are destroying their livelihoods right now. Apparently, socialism is bad, unless you own a tractor. Then it's called farm aid.
Right now, and what we need is a strong demand for soybeans and other ag products, and get some trade going instead of scaring it away with tariffs.
Best case scenario for this year?
That we never have to talk about tariffs again. Free trade is the answer.
China not buying U.S. soybeans just adds to dwindling hopes as Fuller expects to start harvesting his beans around October 1st.
Gilkinson says other than the 2012 drought, now is the worst point he's been in the business.
The prices are driven by supply and demand. We'd like to say it's all tariffs. Tariffs has a lot to do with it.
Let's talk about those soybean farmers. For years, China was their biggest customer, their cash crop, their golden goose. Then came Trump and his big, beautiful tariffs. And what did farmers say? Tariffs are great. Trade wars are easy to win. And they overwhelmingly voted for him. Well, congratulations, everyone. You won. Here's your prize, financial ruin. And now these same farmers are speaking out and calling the situation a bloodbath and quite challenging. Oh, it's challenging? You mean the predictable consequences of the policies you championed are challenging? China stopped buying American soybeans because of Trump's idiotic tariffs. They found a new supplier, Argentina. And here's where it goes from tragic to absolutely comedic. Trump just gave Argentina a $20 billion bailout. Let me say that again slowly. American taxpayers are subsidizing Argentina to undercut American farmers. We are literally funding our own competition. We're paying Argentina to take American jobs. America first, ladies and gentlemen. America first. To pay for Argentina's competitive advantage against American workers. You cannot make this up. And now these farmers want bailouts. They want socialism, but only the kind that helps them, of course. The same folks who spent decades railing against government handouts and welfare queens now have their hands out faster than you can say cognitive dissonance. Student loan forgiveness, that's socialism. Healthcare, that's socialism. Farm subsidies after voting for the tariffs that destroy your own industry, that's necessary support for hardworking Americans. We warned them, economists warned them, everyone with a functioning understanding of international trade warned them. But no, they knew better. So here's my position. You voted for this. You own this. These are your consequences. And the rest of us shouldn't have to pay for your expensive economics lesson. Class dismissed.
So I'm just sitting here minding the black business that pays me when I come across this lovely little article here. And I could not help but laugh. I've done couple of videos talking about the farmers here in these United States of America and how they are being ravaged by DJT and his current administration with the dangerous tariff wars that DJT is playing with these people. Now, mind you guys, I don't feel sorry for none of them. 90% of them voted for DJT. And you can't tell me that you did not know that this was going to happen, or you couldn't predict that this wasn't going to happen. This literally happened the last time he was in office, where once again, we, the American people, had to bail your asses out with you and your welfare farms. Yeah, we did that. So there's something a little bit different about this go around, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Imagine you casting your vote for this person. Imagine the bumper stickers, the energy, the time, the effort you went into getting this person elected, only for them to not only play dangerous tariff wars with you in your lives and your money, but turn around and funds your competition. So if you guys don't know, Argentina is one of our soybean competitions. And right now, China right now is getting a majority of their soybeans from Argentina. And for me personally, that would be a slap in my face. But here's what I'm about to do. I'm about to go sleep on my silly Posturepedic. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be okay. I ain't got a farm to worry about. This is what happens. We were sounding the alarm. And this is what happens when you simply put profit, when you put hatred and bigotry over human kindness, human empathy, human sympathy. You're going to fail every single time. Y'all have a good night.
Trump announced that he wants to bail out the farmers that are losing their farms and going bankrupt from his tariff war by using the revenue generated from the tariffs. You know, the tariffs that every other American is paying. So, sounds like socialism to me. Now, all of this is due, or he wants to include it in the omnibus bill due by November 21st. So none of those farmers are actually going to see any of that until at least early 2026. So all those farmers that complain about socialism, say it's bad, vote against their best interests, are going to be clamoring for that good old government money to bail them out yet again. Those farmers aren't going to survive till then. Those farms are going to go bankrupt. They're going to lose their farms. They're going to get bought up by big agricultural conglomerates who will then get the bailout money from the government, who are able to weather the months of not being able to sell any of their commodities to other countries.
Y'all will hear me say this a lot. MAGA is socially conservative and fiscally liberal. They just don't know it because the right wing keeps them preoccupied with culture wars and other BS. All right, so we all know Trump got us in the stupidest trade war in American history. But the impact of these tariffs just keep getting worse. And I want to talk specifically about some of the latest developments. Trump uses his role as the president to screw over his most loyal supporters every chance he gets. But he know that he can convince them that somehow the real problem is immigrants, transgender people, the Democrats, or whatever, it is for whatever the issue is. And a prime example of that is his tariff war. So over 70% of farmers voted for Trump. They put their business in the hands of a guy that has filed bankruptcy 6 or 7 times. Now, where has that got them? Most of them are on the verge of losing their farms, and it ain't even been a year since he's been in office. Trump's tariffs is killing Nebraska, a state that voted for him. Why? Because China, who typically purchases about $2 billion in soybeans from Nebraska annually, just stopped purchasing. Arkansas, another state that voted for Trump, right? Well, over 30% of Arkansas farmers are forecasted to go bankrupt by next year. And now they ask Trump and the federal government for relief. And by the way, it's so fascinating to see these same people can ask for relief from the government and it not be considered socialism. But apparently student loan relief was socialism. Again, all this because Trump's stupid trade war. China purchased about 54% of U.S. grown soybeans last year for about $12.8 billion. This year, China hasn't purchased a single soybean in over 3 months. But I guess MAGA still believes in Mr. The Art of the Deal. But hey, you know what? You ask for socialism and you shall receive. Let's take a look at what Trump posted to his shitty social media site, Truth Social, last night. He says the soybean farmers of our country are being hurt because China is, for negotiating reasons, only not buying. We've made so much money on tariffs that we're going to take a small portion of that money and help out our farmers. Basically, what he's saying is he's going to use the money that he stole from the American citizens through tariffs to bail out farmers. But hey, I'm not against bailouts for farmers. Actually, I hope these MAGA farmers enjoy their socialist government handouts. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in it. That's all.
So Donald Trump just said that he is going to be bailing out the farmers using the tariff revenue. Mind you, the tariff revenue is coming from us, the consumers. He said for a little bit the farmers are going to be hurting, but when the tariffs start to kick in, they will start to benefit from it. And then after that, he went on to say that they are bringing in so much tariff revenue after literally saying that farmers are going to be hurting for a while. When is it going to click in that he does not care? I don't think he realizes there's going to be no benefit from this, because the only people who are benefiting is the government. It's not us. Or he does realize because he did the exact same thing in his first term and people did not learn from that. In his first term, a lot of farmers went bankrupt and lost their family farms and they had to get a government bailout. And now in his second term, people are still losing their farms and they're going bankrupt. Meanwhile, the big corporations are buying up the land that the farmers lost.
And we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. We're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money.
With the new TikTok deal, let's make sure we are sharing these videos so that we can stay in the algorithm.
It's Mamaw. Welcome to the porch. Well, it seems that the taco is going to bail our area farmers out, and I have really mixed feelings about that. This comes from the people that say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Your actions have consequences. These are the people that keep screaming to give you health care is socialism. We're against socialism. Democrats are socialists. Well, let me tell you something. If you're driving on public roads, you're participating in socialism. If you enjoy the electrical grid, you're participating in socialism because it was public funds and public right-of-way that allowed the grid to be built to give us all electricity. If you use a public library, public schools, have access to public buildings, that's socialism. FEMA was great socialism where we went to help our fellow citizens in a time of great need. Medicaid, food stamps, those are all socialist programs which are good things. So what's wrong with it? So now these farmers want bailed out because they voted for taco. They supported taco. There were big signs everywhere, farmers for taco. Every one of their organizations endorsed taco and fed him millions of dollars just to have him enact tariffs to where they lost all their overseas customers. In addition, he canceled USAID. He has dramatically cut SNAP benefits and school food programs, all of which were supported by the Department of Agriculture, hence our farmers. They supported him, and then the icing on the cake was everybody thought it was great. Oh, we're going to go pick on immigrants. What can they do about it? So they decided to have their own brown shirt police department, as they call it, the masked bandits of taco, to terrorize immigrants who were picking our vegetables, who were tending the crops, who worked in the meat slaughterhouses. Now they're gone. So guess what? Whose fault is it? Why should our tax dollars, where we can't feed or use it for our own people or give health care, which is what y'all squawked about, oh, well, you're helping them overseas, to go bail you out when you knew damn good and well what he was going to do? Stay salty. Use your outdoor voice. And for every farmer that gets a bailout, congratulations.
Hey, breaking fucking news. I'm redoing this video. I'm in gardening. I misspoke. Donald Trump is planning a bailout that's going to go from $10 billion all the way to a range of $50 billion to bail out soybean farmers who are raising hell with the Trump administration because there's tariffs now on China and they haven't been selling any fucking soybeans. I misspoke and said it ass backwards. So now the Trump administration is planning on taking the money that they have acquired from said tariffs and bailing out all the farmers, American farmers, who are having issues, shortages, and what have you, in the last 9 months since these, well, probably was it 8 months? 8 months since these tariffs have been put in place. The Trump administration is fixing a problem with a problem that they caused with the money they promised you. This is what you voted for, and again, this is a redo video because I misspoke.
Donald Trump just had one of those moments today where he accidentally says the quiet part out loud, and it's absolutely hilarious. Just watch what he has to say here because it's very clear that he has no idea what he's talking about or doing.
Money that we made, just to get off the subject for a second, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers who are for a little while going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money.
That's right. He just publicly acknowledged that his tariffs have hurt farmers so bad to the point where he's having to give some of the money he took away from them back. Tariffs are not free money by any means. They're a tax on imports that raise prices for American businesses, consumers, and especially farmers. So when Trump brags about the tariff money we've made, he's actually just saying we tax the American people this much more. Now he's desperately trying to shuffle that money around to cover all the damage he's caused. It's like setting your own house on fire and then bragging about handing handing out buckets of water to people to help put it out. And his logic makes absolutely no sense. He's saying these farmers are going to be hurt until the tariffs kick in. They've already kicked in. That is the problem. That is why they're hurting. These tariffs are not going to start magically helping farmers one day. They've already hurt them and they will continue doing so. Soybean farmers lost their biggest client, which was China, directly because of Donald Trump's tariffs. They decided, hey, he's raising the prices of soybeans. We're going to go buy them from somebody else. These tariffs have also significantly increased the production costs for equipment and supplies. This is a harsh reminder that Donald Trump's trade policies have been absolutely terrible for the country.
Already, and just like that, my spirit is already fucked up for a Sunday. I sat out on the balcony to get some peace in my heart, and already I got to get on here and didn't I just make a video saying that they're not going to bail out the farmers? Not this time. Well, watch this shit.
Why should American taxpayers bail out farmers who are hurting because of the president's tariff policies?
Well, look, I think that the
Some
farmers,
bullshit.
I represent a lot of them, and they want nothing more than open markets. There are markets right now that aren't open to some of our commodities. As a consequence of that, we've got a big harvest coming in here in South Dakota, corn and soybeans, and no place to go with it. So what the president has said is, I'm going to support and I'm going to help our farmers.
Then you shouldn't have tariffed them.
I'm a member of the Senate Ag Committee, have been for some time, and we're looking at potential solutions to make sure that we can help support farmers until some of those markets come.
I couldn't even get through the rest of the clip, y'all. I'm sorry. I just got irritated. So they tariffed the farmers. Now, they have, like I told y'all, they have a record soybean crop. They have no one to sell those soybeans to. China said, fuck y'all. We out. We out. Now, that was Thune, the Senate Majority Speaker. They are fucking trying to find a way so we can bail out these motherfucking farmers. Now, we know he's from South Dakota. They're hurting over there. They were hurting before the big, beautiful bill. The pain in my face. Oh, dear God. Y'all know this shit's gonna pass because...
Have you ever wondered why we constantly bail people out for their bad decisions they make? Senator John Thune was on Meet the Press. Apparently the plan is to take tariff money to bail out the farmers who voted for Trump. And here's the clip.
A lot of the revenue coming in off the tariffs is what they would use to provide that.
So these people voted against socialism, but now they want socialism, and we're the ones paying the tariffs. We pay it on everything we purchase. There's a tariff baked into it now, right? Or the companies reduce profits, or some way or another, we're all paying for it. So we don't bail out Americans who need help with their medical bills, their energy bills, their grocery bills, just normal bills that have gone up because of inflation. But we're going to bail out farmers who voted for the president knowing that he was going to do tariffs and trade wars. Why? Why do we do that? Why do we consistently bail out people for the bad decisions they make? I say they voted for it. They should enjoy all of it. You have a voice, use it.
What we need is not another round of Trump's temporary bailouts. We need fair trade policies, climate-smart agriculture, and reinvestment in rural communities. Instead of giving out money to fix his own mistake, how about building a good system that is fair, sustainable, and doesn't rely on political bribes every election cycle? Trump's so-called American first trade war ended up in hurting American workers, American farmers, and American families. And now he wants applause for cleaning up the mess he made. So the question is simple. How many times are we going to fall for the same acts? If tariff hurt us and bailouts only help operations, then who's really winning here? Because it sure isn't the average American. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and let know in the comments what you think about Trump's tariff bailout 2.0.